Let's do it.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is 2G1C. We are so back. And this is a little late night episode. It's kind of a vibe. What is...
Little,
Everyone recognizes this song.
a little more laid back this episode.
We are back. This is episode like 17, 18. I don't know. But we're here with my best friend, Michael Stevenson. Mike
Good to be
Steve.
back.
It's good to be back. This track, so basically YouTube has a bunch of like uncopyrighted music, and that one that you recognized is in a million different YouTube videos. So, but welcome back. This is 2G1C. It's so good to be here. There's a couple things I do want to talk about today. But Mike, first I want to ask you, how much for you to quit your job right now?
What would be like the offer? Ooh. You know what? Give me 10K.
10K. And then
no.
then you can't caddy again.
As I said that out loud, I realized that's kind of a low ball.
Flex. Okay.
It's a little bit of that's a little bit of a low ball.
Okay, Mike. What?
Give me 100. That sounds a little better.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll consider at 100.
So I couldn't give you 80.
80.
Ew, don't breathe in the mic.
Sorry, guys. I'll sleep on it. I'd sleep on it.
But sleep on it, whatever. Guys, if we look like we're dead, we kind of are.
A little bit.
We both caddied today. We both carried bags. I'm in my Christmas onesie. I'm comfy. I got my Rocky socks on. But yeah, we carried today, and I did 36 holes. So I did 18 in the morning and then 18 in the afternoon. Obviously, that's how 36 works. Did you do 36 today?
I did not, but got out. So
yeah.
that's all that matters. So
And your loop wasn't too bad today?
No. It was pretty. I think my people liked me, and I think.
I'm so sorry. Wait, coffee ASMR. I'm so hyper.
No, please
I'm
go
so
ahead.
hyper off this coffee. Wait. All right, sorry, I'm done. I'm done. Your loop today, you were with women golfers.
Yes.
Usually that's an L, not because we hate women. It's because women golfers usually aren't as good as guys, and it makes it a little harder to caddy.
Well, usually it's just the wives with the husbands not really like on the golf team, so they're not like the greatest in the world.
Yeah.
But
they're nice, and
oh yeah,
Michael is good with the older women. That's what
our boss says.
That's the feedback from Josh, our boss, about Mike.
That is true.
He's good with the old women.
I have good rep with them apparently.
Sus.
Down here now.
Yeah. But the one thing I wanted to talk about today, with caddying a bunch, and I'll talk about my experience today, but I want to talk about goals and ambitions and how mine have changed and some of the ideas I have going forward. Being out here and looping a bunch, one of the things I've been trying to focus on is picking up common character traits between all the most successful people that we caddy for down here, right? Because we caddy for really rich people that make a ton of money. And I'm trying to see what they all have in common, okay? And, but today when we were caddying, one of the guys I had, me and him became really good buddies early on, and then we just kind of hit it off, and I was giving him good advice, and he was making a lot of putts. He was a really good player. He's a member at LA Country Club, okay?
Oh, really?
And He was telling me about LA and living there and, like how things have been lately and whatever.
Does he still have a house?
Yes, yes, he does, because his was a little more north, or is San Diego north or south of LA?
That's south, right?
I don't know, probably. But
I think that's south.
One of the conversations they had today, sorry, I'm drinking my coffee, was they were talking about Hamas and Israel and whatever. Okay. And this is the stance they had on it. Is the guy I was really buddies with was Jewish, okay? And he was like, and I don't know if this is true, but this is what he said. He said, the U.S. isn't allies with Israel or whatever, but that's land of the Jews, whatever. Is it? Maybe.
It's Holy Land.
Is it? It's not the Israel. I don't know. I don't know if it's Holy Land or not. But he said that the reason that America is so invested in this is because Jewish people control and they fund a lot of the conservative and Democratic parties
This is what he was saying.
in the U.S., okay? And so basically he said, the reason Biden sent so much over there is because a lot of the funding and stuff comes from Jewish people. And so, like, I didn't speak too much into this, but they were having these conversations about, like, how, and, like, Jay-Z says this, Jewish people own all the property in America or whatever, okay? And I don't know what my opinion on that is or whatever, okay? But back to what I was saying about people, like, I'm trying to pick up on character traits that everyone has in common out here. And what I've learned is, one, nobody is self-made. I said that last episode. Nobody's self-made. All these guys have people that help them out or friends or people that help people. And two, I don't think there's anything in common that these, like I don't think there's anything that these guys have in common. I've been trying to, like, pick up on certain things or whatever and trying to mirror, to be successful. But I seriously think, dude, that a lot of these guys that make a lot of money, and people are great, people are nice, but a lot of them are just kind of delinquents.
Are you talking about members specifically or just like everybody in general that we caddy for?
Everyone in general. Like today, my groups that I had, they were talking about, like, hookers and cocaine and getting their balls touched and all this stuff. And I'm like...
No, I've had plenty of guys that openly talk about, like cheating on their wives and stuff. And they're like comparing their, like, experiences with that. And I just think,
I don't
just
wanna,
like carrying their bags, caddying for them. And I'm just like...
And this is not everyone.
No.
Okay? This is not everyone, but there's a certain... But I don't want to get in trouble, so I want to phrase this in the right way in case it gets back to someone or whatever. A lot of the people I caddy for are really awesome, and I love carrying bags.
Yeah.
And it's very interesting to hear what they talk about. But no matter where you are, you're always going to get bad eggs. That's what I'm going to say.
That's everywhere, yeah.
Yeah. And so, like, my one guy today was talking about, like, hookers and cocaine and how he's divorcing his wife for $1 million and how the divorce lawyer is ruining his life and all this stuff.
Yeah.
And these guys ask what my goals are. They're like, Avery, what are you doing in life? What are your goals? And this is what I say. And I'm kind of a douchebag for it. I almost phrase it like I look down on caddying. Okay? And I feel like an asshole now that I think about it. The one thing I say is I go, I am a student, and obviously I'm not taking classes right now, but I tell them I'm taking classes.
They don't know that.
I lie to them. And I go, I'm a student at the University of Akron. I'm taking classes online, and my goal in school is to do business-to-business sales because I've done business-to-consumer sales, but that sucks. So I want to deal with professional buyers, and that's what I tell them. And then I go, I love carrying bags, but this won't be my legacy. And then they're like, oh, yeah, you're destined for more than that. And one of the guys I was with today, his name was Adam, the other caddy. Adam is awesome. He's probably the best caddy I've ever been with. He does such a phenomenal job. He knows the greens perfectly.
Were you with him today and yesterday?
Yes, And
shout out Adam.
I think you know who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
It's such an art to caddying, and he does such a phenomenal job. Like there were, like, I'm good and I'm charismatic, but he is funny. He has golf jokes. He does a perfect job. And I think about how much effort it takes to do his job at the level that he does it at. And then I think about the effort that it takes for these guys to do their job at their biggest level. And I truly think that Adam gives just as much effort as the most successful business people in the world.
Just
So-
different avenues.
That's what I'm saying. So I don't think that those guys are any more successful than Adam in what they do, because Adam's the best. His reads were perfect all day. He knew exactly where every ball was going. It was so impressive. I was so impressed. And when it comes to my own goals and all that stuff, and when it comes to me wanting to be the best in what I do, there's a couple ideas that I have. One thing that there's people yelling in our hallway.
Yeah.
One of the things that is going to happen, 2G 1C is going to take a break. It won't be after this episode. But there will be a season 1 ending or final, because there's another show I want to start that I have in mind that has to do with. I don't even want to get into it or give it away. But there's another show that I have in mind that I want to start doing, and Tommy, the other caddy that is in the yard. Shout out Tommy, love Tommy. He was asking me questions about my content, and he was like, Avery, what makes you different from everyone else? And I get it, because a lot of people ask me this question. Is they're like, what you're doing is cool, and it's great, and it's funny, and it's dope. But I don't know if that's good long term. And it gets me to think, like, vlogging is cool, and the podcast is cool, but is it good long term? You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I don't think so.
I mean, podcasting, for sure. I mean, you see so many successful podcasts out there.
Yeah, but
I mean,
everyone and their mom's got a podcast. I love the podcast, and I love sitting here chopping it up and all that stuff. But I don't know if, because the goal is to be the greatest to ever do it. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's podcasting, whether it's caddying, whether it's whatever I'm doing in life. And if my goal is to be a content creator and to influence people, and the other show that I have in mind is awesome, and I love it. And I think I told you about it, where I swear I told you about it. I don't want to say it.
kind of, sort of.
Anything about it. But like with that idea, it's different, and nobody's ever done it before, and it's cool and it's awesome. But I don't think that like being the best vlogger or being the best podcaster anymore means a whole lot. Like I could come on here every day and drop the best stuff, which I try to do. And I don't know if that'll get me to the top, so I have to innovate.
Because you think it's too bloated, or like the whole scene of it?
I mean,
or?
I'm still going to keep doing my own thing and doing my own stuff, but I don't know. And the reason I'm talking about this, and I'm rambling, and then I'll ask you a couple questions, Mike, is because the first 2 episodes of the vlog came out, and I keep dropping episodes of the podcast, and I don't have an episode of the vlog recorded, and it's now Saturday night, and it has to be done by Monday, and I'm scheduled to work tomorrow, so I might not put an episode out on Monday. If I don't work tomorrow, if I don't get called up to loop, then I'm going to go and do something and record it and edit it. But the first 2 episodes of the vlog didn't do incredible, at least compared to the podcast. The podcast always does a couple hundred views, maybe even 1,000 if it's a good week, if it hits the algorithm. And then I put out the episodes of the vlog, and they barely have done 40 views, 50 views.
Yeah.
And I wonder why that is. You know what I'm saying?
I think vlogs are more of a personal thing.
What do you mean?
I mean, would you say, I mean, obviously you're trying to outreach the vlogs, but like, don't you mostly do the vlogs for you personally? Like, kind of like to document what you go out to do and like experience.
But I want other people to experience that.
Well, you want people to see it with you, right? But
I see.
You know what I'm trying to say?
I see. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I know what you're saying. Do you think that? Do you think the vlog like is sustainable? Like if I put out gnarly dope stuff every week, you know what I'm saying? But like I feel like everyone's already done that. Like
I mean, there's plenty of like vlog channels out there where it's about their college experience or their family or
like
stuff like that.
yeah,
like Disney parks and
yeah,
stuff like that.
yeah. No, there's vlogs of everything.
But
Like the godfather of vlogging, Casey Neistat. You know what I'm saying? Is he did an episode a day, I think, for like a year or something, which is incredible. Absolutely incredible. I'll give you guys some insight. And I think I said this on the last episode too. Each vlog was about 9 minutes. Okay. Let's call it 20 minutes. Okay. 20 minutes for 2 vlogs. The amount of editing I did for those 20 minutes is probably right around 10 hours. It's a lot.
There's a lot of...
It's a lot of editing. The fact he did an episode a day, now keep in mind, maybe
He had a team, maybe.
I'm not sure. But, the fact he did an episode a day, maybe they're not super incredibly polished, but that's a great piece of content a day.
Yeah.
That's a incredible amount of time. That's ridiculous. That's like... And the fact that I am like trying to squeeze out one a week, and it's been a lot, you know what I'm saying, to plan something and get a day off. And this last week, it was freezing cold, so we couldn't go do anything on the one day off we had.
It felt too much like home the past week.
I know. It was like 35 degrees this morning?
This morning was, yeah.
Yeah, no, I didn't come down here for this stuff.
Up to 68 or whatever, weather stuff,
Yeah.
But
back to what I was saying. Tommy was asking me what my goals were coming down here. And the one goal I had for myself is just put out a podcast episode a week. And then I kind of changed that goal to where I want a vlog a week and a podcast episode.
Yeah.
Okay. This is what I think is one of the guys I was caddying for a couple months ago, he was a podcaster, and so his podcast got a bunch of views, but he talked about like stocks and money, and I think that's annoying. But
a little bit, but there's an avenue for anything. Right?
He told me, he said, the top 1% of podcasters in the world have 21 episodes out. If you have more than 21 episodes, you're in the top 1% of podcasters in the world, which is a lot. That's a lot of content. That's like a day's worth of content.
21 episodes. He said that?
Yeah. Yeah. Uh-huh. And I looked it up, and it was like 22 or 23, 21. I don't know. It like varied no matter what website you looked at. But all that to say, I think if I become comfortable, I think that's a sign to step something up or do something new.
Yeah.
I don't like calling my videos vlogs because they're different experiences every time. You know what I mean? It's not a video blog. It's a piece of content that we're doing something cool of.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But I think that when I get comfortable, it kind of encourages me to go and want to do new stuff. Okay. One of my goals, start this new show. And I want to talk about it because I really do think it's a great idea. And it combines everything I've been doing lately into something that's really cool and awesome, but I cannot talk about it, which sucks. 2G1C will have a season 1 finale coming up very soon. There's a couple more episodes I want to get out and a couple more people I want to sit down with, and then that'll be the end of season 1. Season 1 of my new show will start down here, okay? And then I want to continue it back home. I think it'll be freaking awesome. People are going to see it and they're going to be like, this is actually dope. And I'm so excited. Second goal, or if you want to call that 2 goals already. Third goal, I think I want to make like a mixtape or album while we're down here.
A 2G1C album?
Maybe not 2G1C, but it's always been my goal forever to make an album and put something out. Whether it's, you know what I mean, whether it blows up or whatever, I don't care. But I would love to have something out to go and point to.
We have some history with that.
We do have some history. If you want to go listen to our old music, Dumb Boys on SoundCloud, DUMBOIS. We have 3 albums out, the bucket tapes, okay, 1, 2, and 3. And I think it's really cool that if you listen to those albums, you can hear, at least in my experience, me get better and better at rapping. As stupid as that sounds. Now, will I be rapping on my album mixtape EP thing that I want to come out?
Maybe, maybe not.
I don't know. But I do want to put out some music while we're down here.
Variety is always cool.
Yeah, no, I think so too. But you know, I've been thinking about a lot lately, you know, like I said before, about the character traits of all these successful guys. And I've said this before, the best advice I ever got was when we were in LA and the guy was like, Avery, if you say you're going to do something, then do it.
I think about that dinner all the time.
Dude, I think about that dinner all the time, man. All the time. And it was freaking awesome. But I want to make an album. I can't see myself going through my whole life and not putting out like one album. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like imagine like going through my whole life wanting to make all this content and do all this stuff and I never put out a music album. I don't see that happening. So I think while we're down here, I'm going to experiment with some stuff and put some stuff together, and maybe it'll be a big thing, maybe it won't, but I want to put something out.
Back in the Dumb Boy days, it was getting pretty fun, and it got better every time.
See, and the thing that made it very difficult, because it did get better every time, and there are unreleased songs that'll never come out that we made.
Yeah.
But the hardest part, because when we got together, it was awesome, and we made some cool stuff, and it was so much fun,
we would make like a 15 music album in a long week, Friday through Sunday,
like
right?
3 days, because we'd sit down and pump it out.
Yeah.
We'd sit down. But the hardest part that always limited it wasn't our creative. It wasn't whatever. It was the fact that I felt like I had to beg everyone to come and do it every single time. Do you remember that? I would go in the group chat all the time. I'm like, let's do the album. Let's do the album. Let's do the album. And everyone's, you know what I mean?
But
you were always down.
But then it eventually happened, and then it was really good.
It eventually, I talked everyone to sitting down and doing it. And then we finally sat down, and we would pump out these like 15, 13 song albums in like a weekend. Because we would
Friday night, Saturday night, maybe Sunday.
That's what I'm saying. And we would just record shit. And it was fucking awesome. Awesome. There would be these like 9 hour sessions in my loft where we have the mic set up and we would just make shit, dude. And it was awesome. It was so much fun. That was probably, you know what, Mike? I'm gonna say this right now. That was probably the most fun I've ever had creating stuff ever. Was that not like the most fun thing ever on the face of the planet?
Either that or like the movie videos where we like the Super Mario movie or like the Avatar movie.
Yeah, those were awesome. And listen, I know we don't do Dumb Boy stuff anymore, but I think about this a lot. There's a part of me that misses that.
Of course.
Like,
yeah.
When we were with the other members and we were all together and we were making stuff, there's no better joy in the world that I got. Like, I was fully fulfilled when we were creating stuff together as a friend group. So awesome, man. I would kill for that. I'd kill to have it again. And that's why I begged them so hard to come down and do all this stuff, because I loved it. I really did love it.
And that's what made like the Super Mario movie so good, is because it like had like the biggest like collection of friends.
Yeah. Like all of us dressed up in our stupid costumes and we went and made that video.
And you know, we were acting like idiots, but that was part of the fun.
But it was so much fun, dude. And we were all together, and we were
people were asking for pictures.
Stuff. That's what I'm saying, bro. Like we were all wearing our costumes, and this random lady came up to us and like asked to get a picture with us, and it was so cool. But one thing, the most fun I ever had creating was making those albums. And you guys can go back and listen to them, and they're stupid and they're whatever. But man, were they fun.
Favorite album?
Okay, that we made?
Yeah.
Okay. So Volume 1 and Volume 2 and Volume 3 all have special places in my heart because I think they represent like certain parts of
they're all different eras.
Me learning stuff. Volume 1 is the worst piece, abstract, bullcrap sounding thing ever. It's horrible.
Which I was never a part of. This was before me, actually.
Before Mike. But it's awesome because I sometimes, like, when I describe it to people, I go like, it's caveman meets rock. We had no idea what we were doing. We were the cavemen, and we didn't know what we were doing, but we just did something.
Yeah.
Did something.
When was that? What was the time period of that? Was it like
Oh,
over
man.
COVID or
COVID.
beginning of COVID?
Beginning of COVID, dude.
Was it during the extended spring break, quote unquote?
Yes, Volume 2 came out about a year later, Christmas. Or maybe it wasn't in 2020, Christmas 2020, maybe Christmas 2021 or 2020. That was awesome. There's so many good songs on there that we quote to this day. That's when you were there, Mike. You were a part of Volume 2.
Yeah.
Volume 2 is awesome. We put so much time into making that album. Volume 3 is awesome. And I'm not going to put one above the other. I know you wanted me to put my favorite or whatever. I'm not going to put one in front of the other, and this is why.
You don't like doing that, yeah.
At the end of each album, I do a monologue. At the end of each album, each one, Volume 1, 2, and 3. And I do this monologue about where I am in life, where we are in life, where we all met, where the creative journey is, where the creative process is. And I truly think those are like, it's such a clinical part of my journey. Volume 1, when we didn't know how to make anything, or you know what I'm saying, but to go and do it, to just try and put something out there, that inspired me. And that's also where I learned that if you put stuff out, you will get better. The more you do something, you will get better. I rap so much better on Volume 3 than I do on Volume 1 and Volume 2. And even in like some of the Dumb Boys in Paris songs, that was the unreleased album, Dumb Boys in Paris, DIP. Some of those songs that came out, right? I thought I killed some of those tracks. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I thought some of them were dope. And
Dumb Boys in Paris probably would have been the best yet when it came to like...
Dude, every unreleased song, I think there's 3 of them. That would
3 or 4?
Yeah, 3 or 4 that would have been on Dumb Boys in Paris. They're all awesome. They're so sick.
I was even impressed with how much I grew too. To be honest with you.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
Like
now,
like around that time, real quick, like the
please.
Bucket Tapes 2 and the videos around that time, like I was never in front of a mic or a camera really doing weird stuff or funny stuff.
You were nervous. Yeah.
Well,
and you
yeah.
got awkward and all that stuff.
And you know,
And we're still growing. I'm
you-
still growing. You're still growing.
I'm still growing out of, but from that point in 2020, 2021, whatever it was to now, it's just a huge difference.
I know. I've seen that with you in caddying too. You're more charismatic. You're better in front of a camera. You're better on a microphone. And like, I forget if we've talked about this before, but like, I think you said something about me being like a proud father or something, or I don't know. But like
that was the Blake episode.
that's right. But
with
I've
the
like
collective thing.
But I've like seen your come up of like becoming more comfortable and more social, and like I'm like, that's my micer.
Yeah. Well, like maybe it was like not the best way to put it, but like you
Yeah.
know what I'm trying to put across.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I want to create stuff while I'm down here, so I think I'm gonna do an album. I'm gonna do my best to do a vlog a week. It's a lot of work. Because we have to find a day off. I have to put everything together. But I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep putting stuff out. A couple things that are going to happen. I'm going to put out music while we're down here. Or at least I'm going to make music. If I don't think it's good enough to put out, I don't know. I think it's going to be good enough to put out.
Did you bring down your side note? Did you bring down your mic?
I did. This mic sounds good, but I also brought down the other Yeti recording mic. But I want to put out music. 2G1C will have the end of season 1, which
Can't believe it.
there will be a season 2. There will be a season 2, especially when we get back home and be around everyone. It'll be a lot easier to make content and stuff. My new show is going to start while I'm down here, which is going to be freaking awesome, and I'm so excited. I still need to find a place to do it and whatever, but it's going to be freaking sick, and I'm so beyond excited. Season 1, 2G1C. I am going to put out music. I'm going to start this new show, vlog a week. And I was texting with this person last night, and they were telling me they had this business idea. They have these business ideas that they never they never talk about and never do. And I asked them, I said, how on earth are you supposed to try or even implement these things if you never talk about them? And they're like, oh, I won't. I just don't.
Yeah.
And I can't live like that. I can't live like that. You know what I'm saying? I want to go do stuff and I want to do awesome stuff. And if something's on my mind, I hate living with the what if. You know what I'm saying? Like, what if I did this? But it's like, let's go do it and find out. Because I think so many people are scared of being embarrassed. And I'm trying to put all that behind me. I don't want to get embarrassed.
Yeah.
One more thing about the guys and the character traits and all that stuff. When I was caddying today, I misread one of the putts. It was a bad read.
It happens.
And one of the members was being sarcastic, but it was mean. These guys are like really mean sometimes. And I always take responsibility if there's a bad read. I always take responsibility. I'm always like, yeah, that was me. Good roll. That's on me. You know what I'm saying? And they're like, no, don't worry about it. I'm like, whatever. But I always try and take responsibility just so there's clarity in that area. And I took responsibility for this bad read. I thought it was breaking left about 1.5 feet. It only broke left about a cup. Which, side note, have you noticed a lot of the putts out here stay straight?
That happened twice today to me.
I've had so many of those today where I swear on the right side of the green there's a super high point, and then left side there's low point, and I'm like, this has to go left.
Usually it's just when they're kind of falling down.
And then it doesn't move
And
at
it doesn't do
all.
anything.
And I'm like, what?
Because it speeds up so much.
What? What do you
Going
what
down.
Do you mean?
So we're the golf stuff.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
You know, it's a down slope, so you're like, all right,
Downhill.
So we're gonna put some pace on this, you know. So you do like the whole like 40%.
Okay, yeah.
60%.
You tell them what percent out of 100 they want to hit it.
Yeah.
If it's less than 100%, it's downhill because you want to
Yeah.
hit it less hard. Whatever.
Yeah. So 40% from yourself to the pin to the hole, right?
Whatever. If it's downhill.
Yeah, and you know it just speeds up more pace than what you were looking for.
I see. And
so it doesn't
and
break.
it carries through the break. If
Yeah.
if it has more, okay, I see what you're saying. I see
and
what you're
that
saying.
happened to me twice today.
But I was caddying and I
It's really hard
misread
to
this putt.
explain. But
And this guy was like, no, it's all good, Avery. Don't worry about it. And the one guy was like, you wouldn't have to say that if Avery wasn't so fucking shitty.
well,
That's what he said.
like with a straight face.
Yeah. And then we shake hands at the end of the round, and he's kidding. I know he's kidding. But we shake hands, and I go, way to grind it out today, you know, because you always take your hat off, and you shake all the golfers' hands at the end of the round. He goes, oh, Avery, go fuck yourself. And I know he's kidding. I know. But there's a part of me that when I become a member at all these nice clubs and I take caddies and I'm able to tip them and all this stuff. And this guy was great. He tipped well and he was nice to me after and we had a great day and it was whatever. But that stuff kind of motivates me. But not in a way of like, oh, fuck that guy, I'm going to show him. Just, it motivates me to be like, you know what? When I get to that point, and maybe my caddy misreads the putt, I want to be in a position one day to where I can be nice to that caddy even though he messed up. That's what I want. I want to be, you know, my mom, I love my mom. She was always like, Avery, like, if you love caddying so much, maybe you could be like a school teacher and caddy in the summers. I'm like, Mom, that's cool. But
Some people do that at Firestone.
Yes. And it's awesome. It's like, it's a phenomenal gig. It's a chill way to live. It's awesome. But I said, Mom, I want to go through life and I want to be the guy tipping the caddies and taking people out to golf and being nice to the caddies and doing all that stuff. And when these guys say stuff to me like that, because someone else said something to me the other day, that he was, you know, I said this on the other episode. He was like, Avery, like, your positivity, I've been putting up with this shit for 16 holes, but your positivity is really fucking annoying. It's time to shut the fuck up. And he's
And-
kidding. I
and-
know he's kidding. Okay.
Was he kidding though?
He was.
The guy before he was
Yeah.
kidding, but like, was he kidding?
But you can, but like, they don't laugh or anything. But you know they're kidding.
Being sorry,
But
yeah.
are they kidding?
Yeah.
Very interesting question. But it motivates me that when I get put in that position where I eventually do take a caddy or someone takes me out to golf, I want to be as nice as possible. I want to be as nice as humanly possible, and I want to make everyone's day better. And this is what I think success is. When we were little, because we caddy at Firestone Country Club now, we would always go to the big tournament every year. And there's a golfer, Bill Haas. Bill Haas, he's not the best to ever do it, but his father, Jay Haas, played on tour, and then Bill got to play too. And so our favorite player was Bill. And on number 6, that the number 1 handicap, that par 4 on the South Course.
Yeah.
My sister, she was real little, and she was cheering like, "Go Bill, go Bill!" And Bill came over, and he gave her a golf ball, and he was like, "Follow your dreams" or something awesome. Well, Bill Haas has this interview, and they asked, he's talking about like what success is or whatever, and he says, and this is what I truly believe it is. He says, when it comes to success, success is how you treat people. No matter where you are in life, whether you're a caddy doing it full time, like Adam, who does a phenomenal job and truly is a master at his craft, or you're these guys that make a bunch of money, or you're an influencer, or you're whatever. Nobody's going to remember, and you guys hear this all this time. Everyone hears this all the time. You're not going to remember how much money you had. Nobody's going to remember LeBron and be like, man, he had all that money. They're going to say he was a great player, and he did a lot for the city of Akron. Success is how you treat people. And how I treat people now, I do my best to always be kind and smile and keep moving forward. Not to like toot my own horn, because I am not a saint.
Not just on the golf course, but like in life.
But in life.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any excuse in the world to treat someone poorly.
No.
Never. You're allowed to not say anything. You're allowed to be quiet, and you're allowed to not want to talk to people. But going out of your way to be mean and say mean things, I don't think there's a place in the world for that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I'm not a saint. I talk shit and I do all that stuff, but I treat people the way I treat people now will be the way I treat people for the rest of my life. And I'm not perfect, but success is how you treat people, and I think that makes me truly successful. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, I'm right there with you, I think.
Yeah.
I've always tried to be the nicest in the room.
Yeah.
Always tried to, it comes with pros and cons. I mean, I've learned over time to be more outspoken.
Yeah.
And not just always trying to be the nicest guy in the room to
get ran over.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But you still keep that energy where you're always trying to, just the positive guy.
Yeah. Yeah. And
yeah.
Yeah. And I think I said this on the last episode too. If that guy said, Avery, your positivity is really fucking annoying, then guilty as charged, man. You know what I'm saying?
I wouldn't find that as an insult.
That's what I'm saying, dude. I wasn't of course I stopped talking because I don't want to, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to cause any problems. And I understand that if I make a scene now, then I won't be able to caddy later, and I have bigger and better things to worry about than this fucking dude.
Yeah.
But that was a really awesome indicator for me when he was like, Avery, your positivity is really fucking annoying. I didn't think I was that positive, but it's just how I am. You know what I mean?
I mean, I'm always as optimistic as possible on the course to these players.
I'm never and caddies do this. We're like, oh, you're fucked. That's a horrible spot. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I say, no, if there's a guy to do it, it's you, right? You're the guy. Always been you. I'm always encouraging my players. And my guy today came up to me after the round, and he said, Avery, you are the most positive kid I've ever met in my entire life. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep being positive, and you're gonna do great things. And I love that shit, dude.
Oh yeah.
Because that's one compliment that none of these other caddies are gonna get. You know what I'm saying? These guys are, they're making jokes and they're cracking jokes, but they're not positive. And like, I live for that stuff, man. And I think I'm truly successful. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm going to keep moving forward. But in my eyes right now, I treat people with as much positivity and kindness as I can. And that's what I want to be remembered by.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and goals moving forward, treat people with kindness and keep trying to innovate.
Yeah.
And I love it down here. I had a great day today. I did 36 holes. My guys were super drunk. I tried a vodka. Ooh, and I wanted to tell you this too.
Really?
I tried vodka for the first time.
You're kidding.
Because my
Really?
guy bought me a drink, and he was like, vodka, Arnold Palmer.
Tito's and lemonade.
No, it was
That's
like
what I had that on the course yesterday.
Really? Yeah. But I had a vodka and lemonade. Wait, what? No, I had a Arnold Palmer vodka thing, and I drink it, and it tastes like mouthwash. It tastes like mouthwash.
You hated it, didn't you?
It's like that sour burn feeling that, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I could have used it as mouthwash. It was gross, and I much prefer wine. I love my wine. I don't sit here and sip wine every night, but if I am gonna drink something, I'll do wine.
I'll drink like a IPA every once in a while, and he always says the same
Piss beer.
Yeah.
My sister works at this brewery down here, and we'll go and see her. And Mike always like tries a sample of the beer, and then he gets it. And Mike, I want you to know, I'm sorry for bullying you every time you get a beer.
But
it looks like straight piss.
He says says that to me, and every time I just pick it up and
It's
drink
so
it.
gross.
Like I don't care.
And
but
it smells whack.
they're all different, and that's what's great about it.
That's what's great.
Every
about
IPA is different. They taste different. They smell different. They look different. That's why I always taste them. But then your sister's always like, "So you want it?" I'm like, "Sure." So she's like, "I got one for you."
They look so gross. Whatever.
Yeah.
But all that to say, vodka's gross. Success is how you treat people. Camera just died.
That's the experience.
Mike, tell me where you are in life right now, and this will be our final comment today on this episode. Tell me where you are in life, and obviously you're going forward in school.
Sure.
You're out here caddying.
So I will mention that. So
What is that like? Where is your head at when it comes to moving forward and what you want your future to look like and all that stuff?
yeah. So I was actually just thinking about this. So, in school online while we're down here in Florida caddying at a country club or a golf club where, an opportunity that I'd say not many people and caddies really get to experience.
It's awesome.
I don't think.
So blessed.
And I think in my mind, so I always was worried about finishing school, and I'm a little behind in years because I switched a couple times,
Switch majors.
Yeah. And, I was always told, in the long run, it doesn't matter. Like I would tell people I caddy for, tell friends, family, I'm like, I feel like I'm behind. And they're always like, in the long run, it does not matter. You are going to work your entire life.
Mm-hmm.
It may feel like the big deal now, but in the long run, it does not matter. You're still going to do your thing. You're still going to have a career. You're still do whatever you want. And I'm still doing that, trying to get my degree.
Yeah.
But also, like, I'm doing this where I think people our age, for me and Avery both, I think it's a different avenue than what anyone else is taking, where we are in school, yes.
Still moving forward in that sense.
But still taking opportunities to work where we are now and making the most of it in terms of, yes, it's a job, so try to make money, of course, but also like experience what's out there and experience and meet new people, make connections and stuff like that. And even though it's a different avenue that I think everyone else is taking, I still feel like I'm well off and doing really well for my age.
Nice. I'm glad you feel like that, Mike. That's
and
awesome.
I don't care as much anymore about or feeling pressured. I mean, I will, but feeling less pressured about I got to graduate now or graduate tomorrow, and I feel like I'm behind because, my friends are graduating.
Yeah, correct. Or starting their jobs and all that
starting
stuff.
their careers and stuff, which is great. And I want to, be there with them. But, actually a guy caddy for today, I believe his name, so I had John and Dan. I believe it was Dan. Maybe it was John.
Okay.
Anyway.
Whatever.
He said, I asked him about the caddy program back at where he is in Connecticut.
Okay.
And he said, what's great about out here is that, back at my club, they're all high school kids. And he's like, I support that, but they always say they don't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
And it seems like everyone out here, including you seem to really know what you're doing. And my answer was, well, I'm really happy that I convinced you.
Yes.
That I'm convincing you that I know what I'm doing.
Yes.
Because do I know what I'm doing? Not really.
I don't think anyone does.
Right. But I'm glad I convinced you that you thought that, because I'm just taking it a day at a time.
Yeah.
And we traveled south for the first time, and we're, living the Florida life in a way, but also like
it looks a lot different than how it feels. It feels a lot different.
Yeah, exactly. And
but
how it's turned out up to this point, I wouldn't change it.
It's been awesome. I love that.
I wouldn't change it.
I love it. Wouldn't change it at all.
No, definitely not.
Ladies and gentlemen, this has been 2G1C. Thanks for joining us. I know we kind of rambled a little bit and a little off the cuff and stuff, but I wanted to put these things out there because people say, if you want to accomplish your goals, write them down. Well, how about this? What if I speak it in my podcast and I put it on the internet? I think that's just as good as writing it down. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been 2G1C with my best friend of all time, Mike, Steve. Life is freaking good. Check this out. Nostalgia 101. So it doesn't get any better than this. 2G1C. We'll see you guys next week.